This is the Mitsubishi Triton GLX-R. It's a new mid-spec variant in the Triton lineup. Now I say new, but the GLX-R badge did exist in previous generations of the Triton. But the new GLX-R gets a few things over and above lower spec vehicles, like black alloy wheels, tailgate assist and a leather wrapped steering wheel. But much more importantly, it also gets Super Select 4-wheel drive too, which is only available in higher spec variants of the Triton. And that's a big deal. But is the GLX-R worthy of your attention, and is it any good off-road? Well, that's what we're here to find out, so stick around. The GLX-R is a 5-seat dual cab 4-wheel drive ute, and it has a price tag of just under $57,000, but that excludes on-road costs. In the Triton lineup, it sits between the GLX Plus and the GLS. Our test vehicle has a stack of accessories on board, so its price tag as tested is closer to $61,000. Standard features include this 9-inch multimedia touchscreen, and that has wireless Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. You also get a 7-inch driver digital display, a 360-degree camera, a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel, and a whole bunch more. Exterior paint choices include red or white, and they come at no extra cost, or you can choose blue, black, silver or grey, and they each cost $740. Remember, for even more details, make sure you read my full written review at carsguide.com.au. In terms of design, the GLX-R doesn't add anything really to the Triton look. In fact, it subtracts a few things. You don't get any side steps on the GLX-R, and instead of all-terrain tyres, you do get these highway tyres. But you do get, over the tray, a Mitsubishi branded sports bar, and that looks pretty cool if you're into that sort of thing. The interior of this Triton is well suited to work and play. There's hard plastic surfaces everywhere, cloth seats, rubber mats, carpet flooring. It's all designed to cop a real bashing from day-to-day life. Everything is easy to operate, easy to find. There's plenty of storage everywhere. You've got this nice deep space above the glove box that is very handy. And charge points up front too, a USB-A and a USB-C, as well as in the back. Seats are comfortable and supportive. There's plenty of bolstering there. It's a little bit on the Spartan side, the cabin, but I don't mind that. As standard, the GLX-R tub has a hard plastic liner. That seems pretty sturdy. It's got 4 tie-down points at each corner of the cargo load space. Our test vehicle does have a soft tonneau cover, but that is not standard on the GLX-R. It's a usable space, it's pretty functional, and the GLX-R does benefit from the fact that it has tailgate assist, so if you need a little bit of softness in your life, there it is. The GLX-R has a 2.4 litre 4-cylinder bi-turbo diesel engine, and that produces 150 kilowatts and 470 newton meters, and that's matched to a 6-speed automatic transmission. This is a very handy combination, especially in the Triton package as it is now, because it delivers a smooth and refined driving experience, but there's plenty of power. More importantly, there's plenty of torque down low, and that's really handy for 4-wheel driving. You also get a rear diff lock in this vehicle, as well as selectable driving modes. But the big deal here is you get Mitsubishi's Super Select 4-wheel drive 2 system, and that's very impressive. Obviously, the most important changes to the Triton happened when the new generation was released recently. That brought with it a new bi-turbo engine, a new chassis, just an overhaul of the design, a longer wheelbase, and it turned what was an ordinary kind of on-road vehicle, but a very capable off-road vehicle, into something much better. The Triton, now wider and longer than before, feels more settled on gravel roads, and it feels more composed. It feels safer, more sure-footed. The old Triton wasn't terrible on road or even gravel roads, that sort of stuff. And again, it was a very capable 4-wheel drive, but it's that much better in the new generation Triton package. The power-assisted steering offers a real light but precise feel about it. The engine has a nice, quiet refinement about it, and it just trucks you along. Ride and handling are a lot more even-handed in this new Triton than they were ever before in the previous generation. And so getting to and from your favourite four-wheel driving spot is a whole lot more comfortable. It's, to be honest, a nicer driving experience. But how does this new bigger Triton go when it comes to low range four-wheel driving? Well, it's actually pretty impressive. The Super Select 4-wheel drive 2 system is a real bonus in this vehicle, and it also offers 4-wheel drive low range with the centre diff locked. This Triton also has a factory rear diff lock, and its off-road driving modes include sand, snow, gravel and rock. And while you do have to drive this new generation Triton with extra concentration and extra focus than perhaps you might have got away with in the old Triton, simply because this is a bigger vehicle with a longer wheelbase, so it takes up more space on the track. You need to be more aware of your lines. But even though the ground clearance and the off-road angles check out and are pretty standard for a ute of this kind, it does feel low, and it does feel very vulnerable to scraping that underbody on rocks, dirt, tree roots, those sorts of things. There are bash plates there. There's a metal one and a plastic one, but I wouldn't rely on those to cop heavy duty punishment. And that rear diff may be prone, especially if you're doing hardcore rock crawling, steeper hill climbs or going down hills, that rear diff might cop a knock or two from a rock. So I'd be aware of that. No side steps on the GLX-R, so it does feel a bit taller off the deck. It's a little bit more difficult to climb in than a ute with side steps, but that does also mean that if you do tip at a severe angle, and rather than a side step copping the knock, then perhaps the bottom edge of the door or the bottom of the chassis at least, then that's more likely to happen. Otherwise, all the good stuff is here. The mechanicals, the off-road traction control system seems pretty well calibrated, and again, you've got the rear diff lock if you need it. But what isn't so good though, but it's kind of a trait of most contemporary four-wheel drive straight out of the showroom, is the fact that the GLX-R gets a set of tyres that are better suited to the highway than they are to any even mild off-roading situations. But that's an easy fix. Just swap in a set of decent all-terrain tyres, go as aggressive as you want, and that will make this capable four-wheel drive even more capable. As well as offering plenty of torque across a wide rev range, the Triton also benefits from strong and sharp throttle response, which is very handy when you're four-wheel driving, when you need to tap into that torque instantaneously. And all round, in its current form, the Triton just offers a better general four-wheel driving package than it ever has before. The previous generation Triton had a shorter bonnet, so driver visibility when you are four-wheel driving is a whole lot better, because the new generation Triton has quite a substantial bonnet, so your visibility, your vision forward of the vehicle is somewhat impaired. But that is rectified to a certain degree by a 360-degree camera, and that will operate while you are low range four-wheel driving or driving at low speeds, so that gives you a view to the side of the vehicle and more importantly to the front of the vehicle, so you can maintain your correct line on the track. Official fuel consumption is listed as 7.7 litres per 100 kilometres. On this test I recorded 9.2 litres per 100 kilometres, but I have done a lot of low and high range four-wheel driving. The Triton has a 75 litre fuel tank, so going by my on-test fuel consumption figures From a full tank, you could reasonably expect a driving range of about 815 kilometres. Now, the new Triton does have an AdBlue tank, and that's 17 litres, so remember, you'll have to top that up when needed. The GLX-R has the maximum 5-star NCAP safety rating, and that's from local testing in 2024. As standard, driver assist tech includes AEB, adaptive cruise control, front and rear parking sensors, and a whole lot more. For even more details, make sure you read my full written review at carsguide.com.au. The Triton is covered by Mitsubishi's 5-year, 100,000 kilometre warranty, but that can be extended all the way out to 10 years and 200,000 kilometres if you make sure that you have your Triton serviced at an authorised Mitsubishi dealership. Servicing is scheduled for every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres, and with cap price servicing, those appointments start at $489 a pop. With its new generation Triton, Mitsubishi has brought its ute to the top of the four-wheel drive ute pack. It's near the top, but it's not quite there yet. And the GLX-R does represent a solid value for money buy, and it has plenty of potential as a work and a weekend ute. And that 10-year warranty really sweetens the deal. But what do you reckon? Have your say in the comments section below. And remember, make sure you read my full written review at carsguide.com.au.